since we reported the kind of mass round of layoffs at Meta, I imagine there are a number of employees who've been waiting for the axe to drop. But in this case, it's very specific roles that Mark Zuckerberg and co. appear to be going after.
Right, if you're a Meta employee, ever since those 13% cuts in November, this historic time for the company, you've seen a number of other rounds of layoffs at other companies, and you're thinking, you know, what's coming next? Are we going to have another round? Amazon had another round. And what it turns out from our sources is there is a thinning of the ranks happening at Meta as we speak, that managers are getting told by their supervisors, you need to get to a point where you're doing individual contributor work, whether that's coding, research, design, whatever that is that you can do that is part of building as opposed to managing. That is what Meta values right now. That's where we want to push it forward. And if you can't do that, if you don't find yourself in a role like that, we'll have to ask you to leave, and here's a nice package.
To that point, the nice package bit, Sarah, if you're being asked to pull back on managerial role but do more yourself, is that more valuable or less in terms of recompense to you?
Well, it's unclear whether people are being asked as they make those transitions to take lower salaries. I imagine that would be hard to swallow if you're a Meta employee. But I think the important factor here is that the company is trying to become more efficient. Zuckerberg has called it the year of efficiency. They're calling this move the flattening. They're trying to make sure that there are fewer steps to getting things done and trying to make sure that products are better, profits are better. All things across the board can, in theory, be solved by having fewer middle managers. RIP to all of us who have that role, apparently. So I think that is the takeaway. Whether Meta will actually be more efficient as a result of this thinning, I don't know. I mean, I think that there are roles that have been created for a reason. But what I have heard in talking to employees at the company is there is some encouraging signs here. People who have noticed that there are some managers that only are in charge of 1 or 2 employees, that there are some teams that are tasked with doing jobs that are in conflict or in competition with what other teams are doing. So certainly those things can be sorted out and fixed in this next round, and maybe the fact that they're not doing it all at once and more on an individual basis gives them time to be more thoughtful, since I think there was a lot of tension following the last layoffs that people didn't hear about until the last minute.
Now, every single person wants to be more productive, more effective at work, have more impact. Do we know if there's bits of the business that this is going to really affect, where the bloating really got from a managerial perspective?
Well, I think that the company wants to really focus on some of their core initiatives. We know that they want to improve their artificial intelligence for better ad targeting, for better algorithmic sharing on their Reels products, trying to make sure that people get the right videos. They're trying to ensure that some of the work they're doing on Horizon Worlds can translate to a mobile phone user. So there's some really key initiatives that they're working towards here that are focused on profits. One of them that was mentioned on the earnings call that caught my eye was this transition to making money in messaging, which is something that people have been asking Meta about for years, and Zuckerberg says they're now at 10 billion annual run rate in revenue there. So I think that we're going to see the company get a lot more focused, a lot less experimental, throwing spaghetti at the wall to see what sticks, and more thoughtful about where they spend their time going forward to try to bring this sense of efficiency and energy in the next few months.